Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Try-F podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up. And today, we are talking about Mel Gibson making some interesting claims about the pharmaceutical company. And we're going to see if we believe them, if we don't believe them, and then we're going to conclude this live stream, because this is part 4 of a live stream, in case you haven't figured that out already. So, Cody, how are you?
I'm good, man. Sorry, my dog just came in.
Oh, that's good.
She's gone now, but
I don't.
Yeah. Trevor, how are you, sir?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure?
Oh,
No.
yeah, you are.
Feel a void on the inside? It's tearing you
Thank you.
apart.
Thank you.
Well, it was a question, but you're welcome.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Anyway. All
I
right.
don't like questions. You know that.
You don't like questions.
Yeah. Because I don't always have the answer.
You don't always have the answer?
That's the point of questions,
Exactly.
to make you think. Jesus was the best question asker. Speaking
really-
of Joe Rogan, I used to, I talk smack on Joe Rogan a lot,
Uh-huh.
Does he smack
but
you
he's
back?
he's starting to ask the right questions, about Jesus. He really is.
Yeah, he's getting
I'm
there.
kind of into it.
He's
Kinda
getting
into it.
there. It's close. It's close.
Yeah.
So,
I was talking to my wife about that earlier.
well, I'm just, I never imagined he'd have somebody like Wes Huff on. I never imagined he'd have Stephen Meyer on.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised. If it looks like I'm distracted, I am. I am trying to find
This is not
the right
distractible.
spot.
Are you trying to find the spot where he advertises boner pills?
Stop it.
Careful.
What?
He has got a lot of good products, and I might join his affiliate program. So you're going to have to stop saying that, because he's going to be a sponsor. You'll never stop saying it.
Oh,
I'm
he
kidding.
thinks it's funny.
I don't know what he thinks on that, actually.
Oh, man. Oh, Mel. I haven't seen anything out of Mel in a long time.
Gen21629 asks, what's going on with the Jesus feller?
The Jesus filler.
Which one? Which one's the Jesus feller? Is
I
it?
don't know. They just
Oh,
asked a question.
I wonder if
Oh.
they're talking about you. Because of your beard and all that.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Oh.
they might be talking about you, Trevor.
That's scary.
You've got the best beard of all of us, man. It's an
I am
incredible
nowhere
beard.
close.
It's true. Your beard is crushing.
Or itching. A little dry right now.
All right, here we go.
Nice.
Sorry for the delay.
Okay.
All
Alex
right.
Jones talking about Joe Rogan, talking about Mel Gibson, talking about Mel Gibson.
It's just a never-ending stream of people stealing other people's content, but that's
Yeah,
YouTube.
it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's the whole part of YouTube.
Yeah, it's
YouTube, your tube, while I'm my tube.
Yeah.
in South Texas, out San Antonio. Seriously,
South Texas.
I'm not mad at George Strait. I'm just saying I just use him as an example, to sit around and watch the country and the world being destroyed on the verge of nuclear war. We're finding out who's who. At least George Strait isn't on the other side like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you don't like lockdowns and the shots, screw you. Screw your freedom.
yeah.
Well, when you're raised by an SS officer, you really can't blame Arnold for being a piece of crap.
Well, there you go. I should probably add some context since we started in the middle of that. He's complimenting Mel for showing up at Rogan's, podcast, even though his house was burning to the ground during the LA fires. So,
okay. That's
Pretty hardcore.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
talking
that,
about Mel.
Mel's always been pretty hardcore, though.
yeah. So, hang on a minute. I apologize here. We have, Trevor, we have a meeting group chat. Do you know what that is? Somebody sent a link. It's called the meeting group chat.
Hold on. Let me get to the channel and find out.
Okay, so you're going to copy and paste the link? Yeah, because somebody's... Or is that the link you sent? No, that's the link you sent, and I'm...
That's the link
Why
I
is it
sent.
showing up twice? I don't know. I hate everything. I hate tech.
No,
Anyway,
let's just keep going.
so yeah, Mel Gibson was contrasting, Alex Jones was contrasting Mel Gibson's behavior to George Strait's behavior. That's what that was going on there. So.
Are you on the link on? Is it on the Zoom chat or?
Yeah, it's on the Zoom chat. That's my apologies. I was just being stupid. It's just the same link showing up twice, and it confused me. That's all.
Well, that was
So
last week.
here's
Huh?
That was last week.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm stupid. Let's just
knows?
assume I'm stupid. So
Moving
the
forward.
Mel Gibson clips.
I'll tell you a good story.
Okay.
I have 3 friends. All 3 of them had stage 4 cancer. All 3 of them don't have cancer right now at all. And they had some serious stuff going on.
And what did they take?
Jesus. They took what you've heard they've taken.
Ivermectin and
Fenbendazole.
fenbendazole. Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot.
They drank hydrochloride something or other.
There's studies on that
There's-
now where people have proven that
People
they've
were drinking methylene blue and stuff like that.
Yeah, methylene blue, which was a fabric dye.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a textile dye. And now they find out it has profound effects on your mitochondria.
Yep.
Yeah.
This stuff works, man.
There's a lot of stuff that does work, which is very strange because, again, it's profit. When you hear about things that are demonized and that turn out to be effective, you always wonder, well, what is going on here? How is our medical institutions, how have they failed us so that things that do cure you are not promoted because they're not profitable?
I'm going to answer that question. Because people trust the science. That's why. And they can get away with anything.
There is no science.
Just want to add,
Science.
what are ivermectin and fenbendazole?
They're
When
just
you go to
different.
Atwoods and buy them.
Yeah, like they're not expensive drugs. That's kind of
No, what are they for?
Oh, I don't
stuff, right?
know. I think ivermectin. It might have been. I might be getting this wrong, but I think ivermectin was like meant to help like malaria and different like cold-like diseases. And I've also heard it might be ivermectin. It might be another one, astrobiazine or something like that. I don't remember. One of them, astrolizidazine. I'm going to stop trying. But these over-the-counter medications they were taken in Africa because when people in Africa were getting COVID, they assumed it was malaria. And very few of them died because they were taking the right medication. But of course, Fauci, being our benevolent Antichrist figure of the week, decided he didn't want people to take those medications because they wanted to sell their vaccines. Which according to Jones, and I believe him, erases your immune system and, makes it more possible for you to get sick in the future. So it was
I just typed in what is ivermectin for, and the first thing it brought up, this medication is used to treat parasitic roundworm infections.
They're both dewormers.
Dewormers.
So that's what you were getting at, is that they're like for parasites.
Indeed.
All right, you got to explain the parasite theory again, because you brought it up once, and I half understood it. So can you elaborate on that again?
Basically, parasites, they host on they can only live in toxic environments. And so like worms or parasites are, you've heard that demons are worms, right?
I've heard, that at one point, the Jewish culture considered them to be kind of like small things that got inside of you and made you ill.
Yeah.
So,
it's all throughout pardon the word, but folklore. That demons and worms are kind of synonymous.
Okay.
Through old stories and fairy tales and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so I just find it very funny that these dewormers are getting rid of that stuff. But it's like the more you getting into it.
No.
Okay, when you make your body a toxic environment by your things that make you feel better, alcohol, things like that they make your body an inhospitable place, and so these worms find it to be a nice environment to live in. And so it's like we battle not against principalities, or not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spirits. It's these worms, man. They're demons. So it's kind of the proof's in the pudding to me. Hopefully I said that kind of succinctly.
No, you said that. You said that correctly. I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
It's I don't know, it's just kind of it's right there in your face.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, if you're willing to ignore the science, but that's kind of the point, isn't it? You know, we've been trusting institutions for so long. I mean, what's been shown over the last few years is you really can't trust these guys because they're just going to do whatever it takes to make money.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always been. But people have been saying that for years, but it isn't until recently that people have really taken the idea seriously because we've seen it in such a dramatic fashion of late. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It makes me think of like the Little Mermaid, you know, like the little worms coming out of the ground and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's wild, dude.
No, I gotcha. I'm sorry. I'm trying to look up if I was right about ivermectin or the other drug causing malaria.
Fenbendazole?
No.
That's actually like a dog dewormer. Like you can go to Atwoods and buy a dog dewormer and it says fenbendazole.
Huh.
Straight up.
I'm going Atwood, boys.
You're going on.
I mean, I know people that have done it and cured cancer.
Okay, I was right. Ivermectin does take care of malaria, so they were taking ivermectin. Okay. So, I mean, that kind of does add to your point.
Malaria is like dirty water. There's worms in it. Like, you can literally like go to like a creek, and if you like scoop, I mean, not all creeks, but I've done it out at grandma's, and like scooped up water and look in it, and you can see little worms swimming in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like the mosquito larvae, isn't it? It's like mosquito larvae, isn't it?
It could have been.
Yeah, I mean,
it was running water though. I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, there probably is some truth to a lot of diseases being caused by parasites at one time or another. I mean, I think I've heard that off and on. I don't know anything about that stuff, but
I feel like it's all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's everything.
Maybe. I mean, if the same drug like ivermectin can help deal with cancer, of course that wasn't all they were taking. I mean, you might be right. I don't know. I just know that certain pharmaceutical companies are not letting us take things that would actually help. And I know we've already done one episode that didn't do too well, but I wanted to do another one on it, Dad Blame It, because I do feel we need to take away some lessons from COVID because that was awful. So maybe we need to be a little suspicious of our benevolent overlords.
Jen in the chat, she talks about pinworms in here.
Okay.
So when you appendicitis, when you have your appendix removed, from what I understand, appendicitis is so whenever you're eating a bunch of junk food and sugar and pop and stuff like that, like the bottom of your stomach is your appendix.
Yeah.
So it's just like the lowest part of your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get a bunch of heavy metals in your stomach all the time in your gut, it's just all those heavy metals fall to the bottom in your appendix.
Okay.
And so it gets really heavy, but it's a toxic environment because nothing good can live in there because it's just full of metal. And so that's where all these pinworms live. And when it explodes, because it gets too swollen and infected and shit, that's why you die, because pinworms spread out all over your body.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
pretty crazy.
I had that appendicitis surgery as a wee lad. So they said I didn't need it, so they cut it away. And it was going to explode and all that. So that's interesting. So, I mean, I think you're probably onto something. So, and that was Jen from the chat?
Yep.
Okay, great. So are we ready to move on, gentlemen?
Sure.
All right.
Ready when you are.
Sweet.
Got COVID from my gardener. And he had it first, and then I got it. And I was like, did I grab the hose or what? What was, I don't know. But it was, I knew the guy for 20 years, and we both went to the same hospital. And he died and I didn't. Jesus. I think we both got remdesivir. which is not good.
Not
That's Fauci's special shot, by the way, for those who didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
They
yeah.
killed all kinds of people.
Yeah.
good.
Not good. Man.
Causes kidney failure.
I know. I couldn't walk for 3 months after I had that stuff.
Really?
Because it kills you. I found out afterwards it kills you, and that's why I wonder about Fauci. You know.
Oh, you should wonder about that guy.
Yeah.
When meanwhile, they were trying to stop people from getting monoclonal antibodies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they've restricted monoclonal antibodies, which is fucking insane because they wanted to promote that vaccine because they wanted to profit off of it, which brings us back again to evil. Evil's real. It's real. Putting money over human lives is evil.
I agree.
It's a real thing, and there's a temptation to do it too, which is even more crazy.
Yeah.
This is what we were talking about before, that there is good and evil.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, yeah.
sometimes it
Man, he's
manifests
literally
itself in a
talking about
very
it, huh?
clear and obvious way. And I think that's
Sorry,
what that was.
what?
That was evil.
Sorry, what?
He's literally talking about it. He's like, there's a temptation with it. It's like your sin kills you. He's literally talking about what we've been talking about.
Yeah. It's like there's a theme going on. So
Joe Rogan is killing it, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I never thought when he had Michael Shermer and the like on that, you'd see this direction from him. It's cool. I like it.
Yeah.
So why do you think old Fauci's still allowed to walk around after this mess? I've been a little perturbed.
Because this whole place is controlled by Satan. He's the pinworm dealer, man.
Pinworm dealer. Yeah, I don't know. It is baffling to me.
Yeah,
Like,
Fauci did AIDS for sure, Jen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the guy. So.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's like, yeah.
Well, you think the story?
Satan wants us all to be full of worms, man.
You know what? I believe that. I absolutely believe that. You would think the fact that Fauci was like torturing dogs with like worms eating their faces and stuff, you think that would have been a tell, but apparently that wasn't enough for people.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm astonished the guy's still walking. I really am.
Well, he's got the protection of, Legion.
Yeah, luck of the devil, I guess would be the cliche. So
Yeah, until he runs out.
I hope he runs out. I hope he runs out in the next 4
he will.
years.
You got to pay the devil back. That's the whole shtick.
Yeah, that is true.
That was putting people's lives second and putting money first.
Well, I don't know why Fauci's still walking around.
How is that guy still walking around?
I don't get it.
If just people understand the history of the AIDS crisis and what that guy did back then.
Did you read that book?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the book. I listened to it.
Yeah, I did too.
I drove up to San Francisco, and I listened to it, and I had road rage.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, whoa.
Hang on
How
a
is he
minute.
still there?
I'm going to show, since this is transformative content anyway, I'm actually going to show the book they're referring to because it is an actually really good book. It's available on Audible. I encourage people to get it. I believe
What's
it
it
is
about?
called, I believe it's called The Real Anthony Fauci,
Oh, okay.
and it's by Robert Kennedy. Let's see if I can, yeah.
My name is Robert Kennedy.
Yes.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory that he has a brain worm?
No, I haven't actually.
That's a pretty interesting rabbit hole.
Okay, well, because I believe that. I don't know. I've heard that rumor before. Because I'm an idiot, it's blocking the book cover, but it's just our faces are blocking the book cover. But yeah, you can get it on Amazon. Real Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Big Pharma, and the Global War on Democracy and Public Health. And like I said, it is available on Audible, and I highly recommend that people get it. It is a very good book, or at least so far, because I've only got about halfway through it. So there is that. So moving on.
Yeah.
First of all, people that don't believe it, how come RFK Jr. didn't get sued?
Yeah.
How come there's no lawsuits? If there was lies, there would be lawsuits.
No, but that's
He
right.
would be publicly humiliated. Instead, they kept that book off bestseller lists. That book sold millions of copies.
I know.
They hid it. That's when you find out that bestseller lists are actually curated. It's not really bestseller.
Yeah. It's censored. It's all censored.
Yeah.
Everything's censored,
But that book is an accurate depiction of what Anthony Fauci did during the AIDS crisis, which
Yes.
probably was an AZT crisis.
Yeah, and
more
now
than it was an AIDS crisis.
I mean, it's fairly incontrovertible now that he was
Right.
fooling with gain of function.
100%.
And
All right, I'm going to do this because I'm assuming nobody's familiar with AZT. We probably need to look that up really quick.
I think it's like the remdesivir of back then. It's like
so AZT.
they just have to convince all these gay guys that they're dying, and they're like, oh, I'm dying because of the AIDS, but it's because they're taking poppers and living a debaucherous life, and then they give them this AZT, and it kills them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they died from AIDS, just
Exactly.
like the COVID thing did.
Yeah, it's almost like history repeats itself, or echoes,
Yeah.
or rhymes, or whatever the saying is. So let's see.
Kind of weird.
Weird, yeah, weird. All right, AZT, drug use to delay development of AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, in patients infected with HIV. AZT belongs to a group of drugs known as nucleoside reverse transcription inhibitors, NRTIs. In 1987, AZT became the first of these drugs to be approved by the FDA, which should have told everybody it was a bad idea. But anyway, so sorry.
And who knows what they actually are? It's probably just a shot full of worms.
Who knows? You might be right. It's just chaos out there.
It's what are the? Why is he still around?
Right.
Or at least free.
Right. And no repercussions.
Yeah, whatever happened to that story where, the wombat and the weasel got together and they were horsing around and a bat pissed on him with a golden shower.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was in a wet market.
Yeah.
Very wet market. You got,
Complete.
And just think, that story was more believable than a lab leak. Just saying. People will believe the trusted institutions.
Yep.
Total horseshit. And
totally.
The scientists that we're supposed to trust are pitching that horseshit.
It was like the AIDS thing. Some green monkey bit a Qantas Stewart on the ass. Then he went around the world and got everybody sick. And it was like, ridiculous.
If you want to go to the AIDS rabbit hole, look up a guy named Peter Duesberg.
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I read that book.
Yeah, that is crazy. 'Cause
Yeah,
if
yeah.
he's telling the truth, this is the fucking COVID crisis times 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Mel Gibson was literally having his home burned down in that area of California and L.A. while he was on with Joe, but he still did it. Great job, Mel Gibson. We salute you for humanity. And bringing up those things that have massive anti-cancer effects on record in major studies that they've been suppressing for a long time. It's another great thing. So the truth gets out there. Truth is the answer. The people perish for lack of knowledge. But Joe and...
All right, we're going to call it good there. So,
Truth will set you free.
I think that's a good highlight to leave it on. So hang on here. All right. So, what do you guys think?
I think this has been a fun stream. That's what I think.
Or starting
it
to
has.
stream fun.
We frustrated Jeremiah to no end. Got him ranting. And hey, he may be on the next podcast, which would be great.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah. So we accomplished that.
Thank you.
Final thoughts with regards to Mel Gibson. Actually, you know what? I've got one more thing that I wanted to do, but we weren't going to have time for. But it probably doesn't warrant an entire episode.
Let's just jump right into it then.
Okay. But I just wanted to appreciate something else here. Let me find.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because we're just a few minutes shy of 30 minutes. So I just wanted to point out that Mark Zuckerberg actually looks like a human being again. It's weird. His hair's grown out. He's got a black shirt. His lizard eyes are gone. He's actually got something of a tan. And so for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Mark Zuckerberg is saying he's going to let up on the whole fact-checking and censorship garbage. It's been going on for like close to a decade at this point. And he also says...
Like, oh, we all forgive you now.
Well, I think it's interesting if you watch this podcast and compare it to the other one, because I did watch the other one. Like, the other one, he's like tense and kind of scared and nervous. This one, the dude actually smiles and looks like happy in places, like he's relieved. It's really interesting to watch his like body language compared to the first one.
My kids are watching. Hi, kids.
Hello. Hope you guys are having a great time. So
Wait, I thought this was not a kid-friendly stream.
It's not, Cody. You should get onto them.
Well, shame on you.
Okay, my kids are watching over my shoulder.
But yeah, I just wanted to take a brief moment to go, that's interesting. I just found that his entire look after this supposed transformation was very intriguing. Yeah.
I didn't even think it was the same. I thought it was like an AI job or something. The first clip of the video I saw, I was like, what? That doesn't even look like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, exactly. He looks
healthy.
he looks healthy. It's really interesting.
I know he's been doing jujitsu for a while.
Yeah, and maybe there's something about physical activity that makes you less retarded. I don't know. So anyway, I don't know. So he got blood pumping back to his brain. He's healthy again. And it looks like he's kind of in a better place. So, and again, I think the assassination attempt, because he called it, awesome, kind of like Elon Musk did, I think that kind of was a turning point for a lot of these guys. And I'm just, a little optimistic. Time will tell. He might be full of it, but he might not be. So I wanted to bring that up before we close things out. But final thoughts on the Mel Gibson episode, final thoughts on Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson's, he's cool, man.
I thought what he said was very interesting, and I thought it should be accentuated. And just as a reminder, the pharmaceutical companies aren't your friend. They hate you. Don't trust them. They want you sick so they can basically bleed you of cash until you die. Stay away from them. They're evil. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I thought that was kind of important. So
it is important.
Everything's important.
Yep, for sure. Well, gentlemen, I think that's everything we got.
All right, cool.
I don't know if we quite made it to 30 minutes, but it's close enough. So
I'll buff out, won't it?
Yeah. And thank you to everybody who was in the chat tonight. That was awesome.
Chatties. And
we appreciate it. It's good to have somebody going back and forth. Somebody say something else?
Yeah.
They're talking to each other now.
He said, my wife said that Zuckerberg is cheating on his wife.
So this is a midlife crisis.
Allegedly.
Okay, there you go. Allegedly. All right.
That's funny.
We have a lot of allegedly belief.
Yeah, we're just speculating, I guess. So, if nobody else has said anything in the chat, want to thank you guys in the chat for participating. And
you guys have been awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And
Don't forget to
like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Come back and see us next week.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.